Are you ready to journey from 1963 to 1998 with the one and only Michael Myers? But wait. Do you even know who he really is? Did you know he killed his sister when he was just 6 years old? And now, as a grown man, he's even more dangerous, sparing no one, not even his own blood. You might be wondering, why did all this happen? What drives him to go after his own family? Want to find out? Then hit that like button, subscribe, and jump into this journey with us. Because Michael Myers is no ordinary man, and here at Silent Hour, we're fearless and bold. Before we embark on this journey with Michael Myers, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to our loyal fans, Mitch Wohlschlager, Diane Muse, Hunter Nashob, and all of you who support us. A special shout out to Kat S for her movie suggestion for part 7 of our hardcore series. Remember, your feedback shapes our content. Now, let's dive in. Halloween, 1978. Halloween night, 1963. On a chilly Halloween night, Judith Myers spends her evening with her boyfriend, Daniel Hodges, upstairs in their home. Meanwhile, her younger brother, Michael, dressed in a clown costume, sneaks into the kitchen and grabs a butcher knife. He waits in the living room until Daniel leaves. Once alone, Michael finds his discarded clown mask and puts it on, creeping into Judith's bedroom, where she's brushing her hair in front of the mirror. Startled, she turns to see her brother, but it's too late. Michael lunges at her and a scream echoes through the house. She collapses lifelessly to the floor. He then walks out of the house just as their parents, Peter and Edith, return home, shocked to find Michael holding the bloody knife. Mr. Myers tears the mask off, revealing Michael's cold, expressionless face. 15 years later. On a stormy night, Dr. Samuel Loomis and Nurse Marion Chambers drive to Smith's Grove Sanitarium to transfer 21-year-old Michael Myers for his trial.
You mean you actually never want him to get out?
Never.
As they approach the gate, Marion is startled when Michael suddenly appears on top of their car. In a panic, she accelerates but eventually gets out, leaving Michael to take the wheel and speed away. In Haddonfield, high school student Laurie Strode is on her way to school when her father asks her to drop off a key at the old Myers house. Along the way, she bumps into Tommy Doyle, a boy she babysits, who warns her that the house is a spook house. Unbeknownst to her, Michael is lurking inside, watching her every move. At the sanitarium, Loomis is frustrated with hospital administrator Terence Wynn, who fails to grasp how Michael could have escaped. Loomis knows exactly where he's heading, back to Haddonfield. Later, as school lets out, Laurie meets up with her friends Annie and Linda. They chat about their plans for Halloween night. Laurie will be babysitting Tommy while Annie is watching a girl named Lindsay Wallace. Suddenly, Laurie sees Michael's shadowy figure lurking behind a hedge, but dismisses it when Annie can't see him. That evening, Laurie is on edge. After a few eerie encounters, seeing Michael again in the backyard and receiving strange phone calls, she and Annie head out.
Hello? Who is this?
Dr. Loomis arrives in Haddonfield, troubled to find Judith Myers' grave has been disturbed, realizing that Michael has returned to his roots.
He came home.
As darkness falls, Michael continues to stalk Annie and Laurie. Loomis warns Sheriff Brackett that danger is looming over their little town. As the night progresses, Michael begins his haunting pursuit. He lurks near Annie while Laurie tries to calm Tommy, who insists he saw something frightening outside. Meanwhile, Annie's evening takes a turn as Michael seems to appear at every turn, casting a long shadow over their carefree night. The tension builds as Linda and Bob find themselves in a precarious situation, unaware of Michael's presence. As chaos unfolds, the atmosphere grows heavier, a chilling reminder that some secrets refuse to stay hidden. But what will happen next? Let's find out in Halloween 2. Will they find a way to escape the nightmare, or has this terror only just begun?
Before every masterpiece, there's a blank canvas, something waiting to come to life, waiting for a story. Because it's not just what you wear or what you hold, it's what it says about you. This is more than a product. It's a reflection of who you are, the legends you follow, the stories that define you. It's not just coffee, it's not just comfort, it's the legends you believe in, the courage you live by. Every piece you wear or hold brings you closer to the stories that make you, you. This isn't just merchandise, this is your story. Carry the legends, embrace your identity. Your story is waiting. Shop now at silenthour.square.site.
Number 2. Halloween 2, 1981. Terrified, Laurie urged Tommy Doyle and Lindsay Wallace to seek safety at Joe Mackenzie's. Once they were gone, Michael rose slowly, hurt but relentless, his focus locked on Laurie. Loomis burst into the house, firing 6 shots. And for a moment, it seemed the nightmare might end. But when Loomis peered over the edge, his heart sank. Michael had vanished. Panic gripped him as neighbors rushed to help. He turned, urgency flooding his voice, urging them to call the police, knowing deep down that this wasn't over. Somewhere in the shadows, Michael was still out there. Slipping into the Elrod home, he snatched a butcher knife from the kitchen counter. When Mrs. Elrod entered the kitchen, her eyes widened in horror. Next door, Alice was startled by the commotion. Concern creased her brow as she called out,
Mr. Elrod?
Silence answered her. Shrugging it off, she turned back to her phone conversation with her friend Sally. You might want to turn on the radio, Sally advised.
Entire area. To repeat, 3 teenagers have been found murdered in a house in the northwest section of Haddonfield.
Then she heard it, a strange noise. Her heart raced and her eyes darted to the front door, wide open. What the? She whispered, stepping cautiously into the living room. Before she could comprehend what was happening, Michael emerged from the shadows. Back at the Doyle house, police swarmed the scene. Laurie, barely conscious, was lifted onto a stretcher, her protests weak and desperate.
No, don't put me to sleep.
Okay, relax.
Please don't put me to sleep.
She cried, fear lacing her voice. But the medics rushed her to Haddonfield Memorial, her pleas fading into the background. Meanwhile, Sheriff Lee Brackett and Dr. Loomis searched through the town, desperation palpable. Loomis was obsessed, repeating, I shot him 6 times. 6! His eyes were wild, haunted. Suddenly, Loomis spotted a figure in the distance. Was it Michael? In an instant, he was out of the car, gun drawn. But before he could take the shot, a police cruiser barreled in, slamming into the figure and pinning it against another car.
Is it him or not?
A deputy arrived with grim news. 3 bodies had been found at the Wallace house. At the hospital, Laurie lay oblivious to the approaching danger. Her mind swirled in a haze as Michael moved through the building, unseen but undeniably threatening. Listening to Jimmy, the ambulance driver, Laurie learned her attacker was Michael Myers, a name that felt foreign, a nightmare she couldn't remember. Nurse Alves tried to reassure her, but something was off. In a dimly lit room, Mr. Garrett, the security guard, felt an unsettling chill. As he opened a closet door, he sensed he wasn't alone. At the morgue, Loomis discovered that the figure from the fire wasn't Michael. It was a tragic mistake. But that revelation brought no comfort. The real Michael Myers was still out there, and time was slipping away. That night, Laurie drifted into troubled sleep, haunted by fragmented memories. She heard her mother's words echo in her mind, a haunting refrain. A boy, sitting silently in a hospital room, stared vacantly out the window. A wave of unease washed over her, an inexplicable fear. As the dream faded, reality grew darker. In the chilling finale of Halloween 2, Laurie Strode learns the horrifying truth. Michael Myers is her brother, and he's relentlessly hunting her down in Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. Despite her desperate fight for survival, Michael's unstoppable nature is reinforced when Dr. Loomis confronts him, shooting him multiple times, only for Michael to vanish into the night once again. Now want to know what happens next? Let's dive into Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, for a whole new kind of terror.
They're going to kill us. All of us.
Halloween. The festival of Samhain. It's time again.
There's no more time. Stop it. Stop it now. Turn it off. Stop. Stop it! Stop it!
Number 3, Halloween the 3, Season of the Witch, 1982. It's a stormy October night, right before Halloween. Harry Grimbridge is running for his life, desperate, clutching a Halloween mask like his life depends on it. Because it does. He's chased by mysterious men in grey suits, and in his frantic escape, he accidentally causes one of them to die in a freak accident. Harry stumbles into a nearby gas station, exhausted and terrified. He grabs onto Walter, the station attendant, barely whispering.
They're coming.
Dr. Daniel Chalice, a man trying to balance his work life and his messy personal life, only to be pulled into something much darker. Harry is rushed to the hospital, and in his final moments, he gasps out a terrifying warning.
They're going to kill us. All of us.
Then, just when we think it couldn't get worse, one of those mysterious grey-suited men enters Harry's room and, without a sound, kills him. Daniel and Ellie, Harry's daughter, team up to find out what really happened. Their search leads them to the creepy little town of Santa Mira, where every corner feels like it's hiding a secret. And at the center of it all is Silver Shamrock, a factory pumping out Halloween masks that every kid in America seems to want. Now, Silver Shamrock's masks are more than just a hit. They're about to become deadly. And the mastermind behind this twisted plan? Connell Cochran, the head of Silver Shamrock.
Mr. and Mrs.
Smith.
Smith, of course.
He's not your typical bad guy, though. He's calm, collected, and in control. But beneath that charm lies a chilling secret. As Daniel and Ellie uncover Cochran's plan, you can feel the dread building. Cochran has a dark purpose for those masks. He's embedded a piece of Stonehenge into them, yes, Stonehenge, to tap into ancient powers. On Halloween night, when the kids sit in front of the TV to watch the big Silver Shamrock giveaway, a special signal will be sent through the screen. And what happens next? The masks come alive in the worst possible way. Daniel races against time to stop the broadcast, knowing that kids all over the country are at risk. There's a final desperate confrontation with Cochrane at the factory. And just when it seems Cochrane has won, Daniel manages to destroy the control center. But is that enough? With everything falling apart around him, Daniel makes one last attempt to stop the Silver Shamrock broadcast before it airs. In a frantic phone call, he begs the TV stations to pull the commercial. 2 channels cut the signal, but the third one doesn't. And just like that, we're left with one of horror's most chilling cliffhangers. Did Daniel stop the commercial, or are millions of kids still doomed by those sinister masks? But don't worry, horror fans. Michael Myers is back. Get ready for Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers. The shape returns, and it's about to get bloody.
Now, Michael Myers has come home. He has returned for one more night of unholy terror.
Michael! Somebody help me! He's here to kill that little girl and anybody who gets in his way.
Number 4, Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers, 1988. Inside Ridgemont, nightmares aren't just stories. They're locked behind heavy doors, and one of them is Michael Myers. They say Michael is in a coma, a shell of the monster he once was. But mention Jamie Lloyd, his niece, and that's enough to bring him back from the dead. Michael Myers awakens, this time even deadlier than before. In a chilling instant, he kills the 2 attendants, leaving nothing but carnage in his wake. Jamie is young, vulnerable and haunted. Michael's shadow follows her everywhere, even in her dreams. With Halloween fast approaching, what should be a night of fun quickly turns into a living nightmare. Little do they know, Halloween night will become a fight for survival, and not everyone will make it out alive. Loomis, the one man who truly understands Michael's evil, knows what's coming. But will the town listen before it's too late?
The fact is that Michael Myers was a federal patient and a federal prisoner, therefore he is subject to federal law.
We're not talking about any ordinary prisoner, Hoffman. We are talking about evil on 2 legs.
Michael Myers doesn't just kill, he leaves terror in his wake. As Loomis races to stop him, Haddonfield is already falling under Michael's shadow. Out in the dark, Michael's eyes are on them. What starts as a fun Halloween quickly becomes a nightmare. Jamie and Rachel are hunted through the night, running from a monster who won't stop until he's finished what he started. The rooftop scene is one of the most heart-pounding moments. With nowhere left to run and no one left to help, Jamie and Rachel face Michael head-on in a desperate fight for survival. Even now, safety is an illusion. In a shocking twist, Jamie takes on the terrifying legacy of Michael Myers, showing that the horrors of the past are far from over. As the screen fades to black, one thing is certain. Haddonfield is not safe. Not from Michael, and not from Jamie. But what happens next? How does the terror continue? In Halloween 5, the revenge of Michael Myers, the nightmare that began years ago, continues. Jamie is changed, haunted by the evil that has now taken root within her. And Michael? He's far from done. He's coming back. And next time, no one will be safe. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, picks up right where the last one left off. The infamous boogeyman had just been blown to pieces, or so we thought. But Michael Myers is no ordinary man. He's the embodiment of pure evil, and he doesn't die that easily. Despite the blast, despite everything, Michael lives. His rage is the only thing fueling him now. But who is he after? Who's the one person Michael can never let go? His niece, Jamie Lloyd. Jamie knows the truth. She feels him. Michael isn't just a killer. He's tied to her in a way that no one else can understand. In Halloween 4, we saw something no one expected. Jamie took on the darkness of Michael Myers. But was it possession? Or was something even more sinister at work? And just like Jamie, Dr. Loomis hasn't let go either. He's been chasing Michael for years. His sole purpose in life is to stop the evil that wears a mask. He's out there. He's coming for her. But I can't let him take her. Not this time. Loomis is the one constant in the chaos. Michael is already in Haddonfield, stalking his prey. One by one, people begin to disappear. But his real target is always Jamie. Jamie's connection to Michael is stronger than ever. She feels him creeping closer, like a shadow that never leaves. He's always watching, never speaking, always waiting. And as Halloween night draws closer, Michael moves through Haddonfield like a ghost. Every step he takes is slow, but filled with purpose. He doesn't need to run. He knows eventually he'll catch her. Loomis tries to intervene, throwing himself between Michael and Jamie in one final desperate attempt to stop him. But there's no reasoning with Michael. He's not just a man anymore. He's something far worse. Loomis gives everything he has, but it's not enough. Michael is beyond human now, driven by something far darker. This is the moment Jamie has been dreading her entire life. The moment when she'll face the evil inside her own family. And then, something unexpected happens. Michael stops. A man in black. His presence fills the room with an eerie silence. And in that moment, Jamie realizes Michael is no longer in control. The man in black has been watching all along. And now, Michael is following him. But who is he? And what does he want? Now it's your turn. Drop your takeaways, thoughts, or any details Silent Hour might have missed in the comments below. The comment with the most likes will earn the title of the fearless soul of this episode from our icebreaker community, Silent Hour. And don't forget to follow us on our other platforms. We're on Rumble, where we upload our videos when YouTube flags them, giving you access to more disturbing content. Check us out on Instagram for exclusive trailers before they hit YouTube.